Now, one of the most compelling components of your marketing plan can be holding an event. And I know you might be shaking your head going, well, hang on, look, what do you mean holding an event? You know, look, a good portion of my income these days comes from holding events. Now, we call them seminars, but there are 50, 100, 200 business owners in a room. I do my presentation, and then a percentage of those business owners will come to the back of the room and sign up for some coaching programs. And look, the reason that makes a hell of a lot of sense is because I'm selling once to many. You should think about how you can do that for your business, how you can sell once to many. Now, it might not be 100 or 200 people in a room, it might be to 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 people. But the fact of the matter is, people enjoy going to events. People are attracted to events. They're attracted to expos, and if you think about, you know, your local convention centre, the amount of events that they have there every year, then that's proof enough that people are attracted to events. Think of the garden shows, the home exhibitions, the caravan and lifestyle show, the jewellery expo, the travel expo, and it goes on and on and on and on. There's even these days sexpos that people are attracted to. I live on the Gold Coast in Australia, and in both the Gold Coast Convention Centre and the Brisbane Convention Centre, in just the last few months, they've held these things called sexpos. So therefore, there's an expo for everything these days. If you think about it, you know, I bet you're more likely to go to a cocktail party that is put on by a supplier of yours than if they rang you up and said, could they come to your office and spend an hour lecturing you on their latest release of a product or service. I bet you enjoy going to the theatre. I bet you enjoy going to a luncheon every now and again. We all enjoy going to events. So think about how you can hold an event and draw bees to your honeypot, because that's what it's all about. I had a client in Australia who owned a furniture store, a flooring and furniture store, and I convinced them to hold an event rather than have a sale. And that event included providing high tea and some wine and cheese and snacks. And in just the 2 days of that event, they took a month's worth of takings. And they were very, very happily surprised, because they were a little bit sceptical at first of whether or not that would work for them. Of course it will. The whole idea is to give theatre to your event and draw bees to your honeypot. I had another client who owns a gazebo and garden centre on the Gold Coast in Australia, and he held a Saturday event which was a garden and gazebo expo, and he had the local radio station broadcast live from the event, and jumping castles and, you know, the balloons and all sorts of things for the kids. And once again, in one day, he took a month or more than a month's worth of regular takings in one day. Why? It's because he added theatre to what essentially would have normally been just a boring sale. Okay, so think about how you can hold an expo, how you can hold a luncheon, how you can hold a cocktail party or breakfast. Look, I'm not that keen on breakfasts. Let me tell you why. Okay, Chamber of Commerce meetings suffer from this as well, because they start at 7 in the morning. Most of us have to be at the office at 9. So the reason that I would much prefer an evening cocktail party event, if you're thinking of it, is because you'll find that your attendees can most likely stay there a little longer than if they were going to a breakfast, because we're all sort of conditioned to get to the office by 9. So if you're thinking of an event, I would think of an evening event more so than a breakfast one. Anyway, I'll leave it at that, but you can look below for some examples, and hopefully in your marketing plan you'll start to think about putting an event on that can draw bees to your honeypot.